everybody. Happy Memorial's Day. Sorry about the mishap a minute ago, but I am so excited to welcome you all tonight. I'm Daphna Edward Ziman. I'm president of Cinemoi, and tonight I have one of my favorite people in the entire world on with me. I asked him to join us. It's the one and only Metta World Peace Ronald Test, and he's changed his name again, so he's gonna tell you all about it. But I am so excited because Meta is one of the gentlest souls you could ever know. He is a man who's dedicated his life to mental health for children who've been abused, neglected, and foster care system. There you are, Meta! Hi! I'm so happy to see you.
Same here, same here.
Mwah, mwah.
Wow.
I was just beginning to tell everybody about you. I was so honored when when you decided to auction your championship ring
Yep.
for the sake of foster kids who needed so badly mental health. And you dedicated it to me. And I was like in tears watching you on Larry King Live doing that. But I don't think people really realize the awesomeness that you are all about. So I wanted very badly to tell people just a little bit more about you and what you've done and how you have treated something that ailed you and turned it into a positive for so many other kids. So Meta, please tell me how it began for all of a sudden for you to dedicate your life to mental health for children at risk.
I think it's very important that we are in giving back and everybody, making sure fortunate thrive. So that's what we do. We don't come from. We don't come from. Wait, you hear me?
Yeah, a bit. You're breaking up a bit.
Okay.
So I'm wondering.
Let me go in the. I'm gonna go in the better area.
Yeah, I think you're in a better area. Oh, I see trees behind you. That's nice.
I'll just go in the better area, but yeah,
That's
I think.
much better right there.
Okay, I'm gonna go sit
Lots
down.
of people have joined us, so I want to make sure that they hear you.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I think you want to give back, and I think all these organizations pretty much were working together because even though people have their own agenda initiatives, but at the same time, we're all trying to help people, right? So I like what you do. Also, you do a lot of great things.
Well, I try because, I was introduced to the other side of the world, children who are left to their own resources, basically, in the foster care system, because I actually was an adoptive mother to a child that has suffered from that environment, who I love with all my heart, both my daughter, Ashley, and Michelle. So you took me to a whole other level. But, the interesting thing is that you in your own being had an anger issue, and you always contribute great honor to the therapist that helped you through it. And then you turned it around as you succeeded moving on and getting away from the anger issue. You decided to become a mentor and dedicate your life so that other kids would be able to heal through your own experience. So that's what I wanted to ask you about, that relationship with that therapist. And especially now, because during the coronavirus, a lot of people are depressed. A lot of people are feeling hardship. So please talk a little bit about the transition that you went through.
It's all about finding yourself having a good time. Sometimes it's hard to enjoy yourself. There's so many different things going on. And, I just believe in finding something that is fulfilling for you to do and finding something that's fulfilling, for, something that has some substance, especially here in LA, right? Everybody, that big goal of becoming entertainers, not everybody, so, I see people needing a chance to just relax, get centered, and, you find yourself. You know, that's just life. And people make mistakes in life, and understanding that people make mistakes and it's okay. You know, also understanding that you always should put yourself first. So if that requires you meditating or therapy, you know, just
Yeah, and so much of your life was about the love of basketball. I
yeah,
think basketball was deep in your DNA. And it was interesting to me because I didn't realize so much how devoted you are to the actual game and what it's done for your own life. And you came from the projects in Queens, and basketball opened up the world for you. Could you tell us a little bit about your history, Meta?
definitely. I think basketball in New York City was at an all-time high in the '90s, and I mean, we.
Oh, I can't hear you. We lost you. I think we're losing you in between. It's kind of like goes in and out.
Maybe my
I don't
service is
know.
bad in the valley.
Yeah, I think your internet may be. So while we're waiting for Meta, I would like you to know a little bit about how amazing this guy is. So not only Meta World Peace was the person that opened up the whole issue of mental health for children, but Meta World Peace was the person at the NBA, especially with the Lakers, that everybody could rely on. It's the one person everybody came to because he was the real friend for everybody. And his relationship with Kobe was an example for anybody about devotion and having each other's. I think that is something that is so important to understand, because what I have seen with Meta is how he's been able to create a family in his own life, but also create a family on the basketball court and with everybody there. And he's always had everybody's back. So we have you back, and I'm chatting
Yeah,
about you
I mean,
and telling everybody what an awesome human being you are.
well, thank you. I saw your speech about me and really appreciate it. Sorry, it's just not it's acted up, but I don't know what to do. But yeah, but it's really great things you're doing with the kids in foster. I was doing some good things with and people that had health issues, and I mean, and that's what really put us together.
Yeah, so what Kobe said to me actually is that as long as Meta is there, I know somebody will be watching my back. And people don't realize how close you guys were and how you always had each other's back. Could you talk about your relationship with Kobe a little bit?
I mean, I think my relationship with Kobe is, I think it's really cool because Kobe was the type, you know, to give me a lot of encouragement, a lot of advice with Kobe. I mean, and then also watching someone that really wants something and they work for it, you know. And I seen him work out for 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m., just working out, getting better as a player, you know, and those type of lessons, you know, I from those lessons with Kobe. We had a big battle growing up in the NBA because, I mean, he was going after greatness, and I was trying to just find a way. You know, he kind of knew what he wanted from day one, and we played against each other. It was really cool. You know, it was real physical, fun games. It's really sad he's not here.
Yeah, it is. And I know that he asked you one time to help him with defense a bit more, and you were laughing
Yeah.
because you thought that he was better than anybody.
Well, when he asked me one time, "Hey, I want you to help me with my defense," I was just like, "Okay, I'll do it." I mean, I was honored, but I didn't think like, why would he want me to help? You know, give him defensive tips. You know,
Right.
but we actually didn't get around to it. But at the same time, we would talk about defense. He was an amazing defender. I thought he was great defensively, honestly.
but I always watched you, even in the practice game. When I came to the practice game, I noticed how you guys were like at each other. I don't think people realized how in training you guys were much tougher with each other than on the court. And it was interesting because I don't think competition was as severe on the court as it was in practice. Do you agree with that?
I agree. I think practices was really rough, especially when you got Andrew Bynum, who's big, and you have DJ Benga, who's big. Then you got really big guards, Walton and Kobe, some of the biggest small forwards and shooting guards in practice, right? Everybody's big. And we went really hard at each other in practice, and sometimes it was harder in the games, definitely.
But the love that you had for each other, that whole group at that time seemed like a real family, which
Yeah,
I have not seen since.
yeah, definitely. It was, well, that group, when I came onto that, they was already there. They was already season championship team. They were just trying to continue on. And, I learned a lot from that team. I think I veteran leadership, some savviness to that. They were already smart, brilliant.
So, now that you are sort of like beyond that world, and yet right now you are helping players really understand. You've created this app, you've created a whole business to help basketball players understand business and understand where they need to go to make sure that their life beyond basketball was solid. So the thing is, first of all, what made you think to start that? And what made you aware that there was needed?
Well, in basketball, there's a bunch of different levels of players in basketball. You have the pro, which is one in, I would say, 2-3 billion. It's really hard.
Yes, yes.
So when you talk about the amount of people that's trying, I feel like they're undeserved, and I feel like people don't really give them a voice. Everybody's all focused on the NBA all the time. So I think the platform I'm building still gives people an opportunity to exposure, but you could also track your stats, your lifetime on our application. So I think it's a really good platform for basketball players. We're strictly focused on sports. We're launching on June 8th, June 16th.
Yeah, it's interesting because you've become quite a businessman and a great marketing guy since I think it was while you were still playing, you were starting to really focus on marketing and how do you contribute in a different way. So, but this app that you decided to do, what promoted that? Why did you decide?
Well, I think like with NBA players, when they leave the NBA, I felt like we didn't have a place to go and find meaningful games. And then also, it's a lot of people that work that don't have the time for meaningful games. So on our application, you can find games on your time, which is really good because everybody's schedule is so different and everybody still wants to get some competition out of them. People prefer not to play against rough players or really good players, the young players. So we also identify games for people that just want to have fun and just break a sweat.
Yeah. And in the business world, you've decided to sort of open up and lead other players and other people into an investment round to be able to benefit from life after basketball, but not even just basketball, but other sports.
Yes, definitely. And I think right now we're starting with basketball, but as we know, we're human, we're athletes. Everybody's an athlete. Everybody has the opportunity. Everybody has permission to dream. Everybody deserves the right to dream and play multiple sports, not just one sport. So right now we're focused on basketball, but we want people really active. Obviously, we have an issue right now with COVID, so that's going to change a few things on how sporting events happen. But
Yeah.
you can still find games in areas where you can play 5-on-5 or you're 4-on-4. You're play, but you're gonna have to really, pay attention to what's going on now in today's time, right? Because even right now, we can't find no games.
No,
You
I know
can't
it's
play.
really frustrating too, because I think that the love of the sport gives you an opportunity, anybody, even me, to live vicariously. I mean, there was nothing more exciting to me to go to the Lakers game. I used to scream at you all the time. I know. And and be a part of it, because I felt like you were part of the game. You were a fan, but you were part of it.
It
But
was great,
what?
great times.
Oh, such great times. I mean, it's hard to get people to feel what that particular moment in time was.
Right.
I don't believe there was another time like it. And I feel so honored to have been
First time.
even a part of it to a small degree, because you guys were the best. You were it was an awesome, and I'm grateful.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to ask you something. You grew up in Queens. How did it all come about? What was your father like? What was your mom like? How did you, I know you started to play basketball in high school, but tell me a bit about your life and what was it like and how you were introduced to it. And at what point did you know that you were good at it?
Well, I think I was introduced to basketball at 8 years old, and I wasn't that good. I was okay. But I kept going. My dad kept bringing me out to the court, and we played basketball, literally every day. And without my dad, I don't know who I would have been playing basketball against.
What interested him in basketball? Was he a basketball player?
He was a basketball player. He played. Yeah, he was a player. He could play. My dad. Yeah.
And so he and you, that was your relationship?
Yeah, we just play every day. That was it. And then, then all of a sudden you start getting good, and people's like, "Oh wow, okay."
So when you started really recognizing that was something that you're going to pursue, that was in high school, right?
I was about 14 years old when I said I might have a shot to play in the NBA. When I was younger, I wanted to play in the NBA, but every time I looked at the standings, people were always rated high. So I started to think maybe I wasn't good, but I just kept playing, and then when I on any big stage, I was always able to come out, win, and different things like that. And so then I started to get rated higher, and then went to the McDonald's game. That was like amazing. I went to the McDonald's game, and that was just like I was kind of head over heels when I went to the McDonald's game, because that's what you dream of as a high school kid, playing the McDonald's game. And when I did that, I was like, okay. I kept going, and I kind of knew I can play, but I didn't know how long I would actually last. And because the NBA is not an easy league, and you just keep working on your game, and you just continue to improve, and you last a long time.
Yeah, what was it like for you when you first was selected to the college team? Because I think that was the first thing. And how was it? Was the community around you supporting you? Were you scared? What was it like to just enter into it?
It was kind of surreal, right? It's just like, yeah, you have opportunity to do what you love and make money doing it, which is like crazy. But I didn't think about it like that when I was young. I thought about it, job, and I'm here to work, and it was all just like serious business. Just work hard, win the games. I don't really remember the actual time. I don't think I actually absorbed and enjoyed it. I was just focused on working hard.
But soon enough, I mean, you were one of I think the selection was very soon. I think you were 15 or something when actually you got married then, didn't you?
Yeah, I met my first wife I was 15 years old. We started dating at 16. I was really young.
Yeah, and then that's when you were drafted to the to the college.
And then I went to college at, I left high school at 17.
17, right.
At 19, I was already a rookie in the NBA. So, pretty much I had my daughter, she came my junior year in high school. And then my son came in 1999. So, right, on my way out of college, I already had 2 babies. But luckily, I was able, to go to the NBA. But I was a little worried because I'm like, wow, how am I going to do this? But, you just keep working hard. I was lucky enough to have basketball, honestly, but I don't think that's the smartest way to go about it. If you're, I think you should finish school, finish college, and then I have an understanding of what you're going to be doing. But everybody's different. Everybody's different. But the only problem is when you're that young, I wouldn't advise anybody that young to have babies.
But very early in your basketball career, you had to face a real tragic situation when your friend was murdered on the court. And, can you tell me what was it like when you first realized it, and what impact did it have on the rest of your life?
Well, actually, I was about 13 years old. LIC, which is a local team that we all look up to, all the basketball. They had a game, and one of the players died. We idolized him because he was one of the best basketball players. I wasn't at that game, but when we got the news, it felt like it was very close to your heart when they said Lloyd Newton passed away. When they said Lloyd Newton passed away, it was just like I was 13. It was devastating. He was a really good basketball player. He was also going to go to college and probably get a scholarship, and who knows what he would have done after that. He was very good, very smart player, and it was very unfortunate.
And it was somebody just pulled the leg off a chair and stabbed him with it, right?
Yeah, they were fighting, and then somebody took a leg from under the chair, threw it, went through his heart. He died on a basketball court, and it was very, very sad.
Oh my God, I just can't imagine. So did that have a huge impact on you, knowing that could happen?
Well, that story was in the news, and it was out, so it was kind of like, wow, this is a big thing, right? To see a basketball player on the news, it was really sad, but we always try to keep his name alive, because like he was such a special person to us, and that was the biggest story that people know him for. But we always try to keep his name alive. We always want people to know he was a really good basketball player, and he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you have kept his name alive and that you have kept the memory, because often we forget people that mean so much. So, there are a lot of people that want to ask questions. So maybe should we answer some of the questions? Wait a minute. Can you share your day-to-day workouts?
Oh, yeah. So, my day-to-day workouts is basically get up and think about if I want to work out. And a lot of the times I say no, honestly. I'm on vacation. If I wasn't, I'll be on vacation. So there's no reason for me to work out right now. But maybe in a month, I'll start working out again, honestly. Maybe in a month.
But do you think it's a good thing for people to say, no, I'm not going to work out? I mean, I know I have that same conversation with myself every day, and I make myself go and work out.
Well, what I think is you work out when you're working out, but when you're on vacation, go on vacation, because this is already May. So sometimes you might be in a vacation, so we're not really going nowhere. I'm not traveling, so I'm on a vacation where I don't really want to work out right now mentally. I'll start working out again maybe in a couple weeks, but when I am working out, I love the Stairmaster. I do love a lot of bands. I love bands, Stairmaster, and I like yoga. Those are my 3 favorites.
But Metta, tell me something. What do you think? I mean, because you know a lot about health right now, and you know a lot about what is good for people in terms of workouts, in terms of everything. What do you think is a good thing to suggest to people?
I think I think jump rope is really good. So I think jump rope for 5 to 10 minutes a day. I think that's really good. I also think you could do jumping jacks to warm up and then stretch, right? Do some
And
jacks, stretch, do some mobility exercises. I think that's really good, easy.
what about swimming? Do you think swimming is?
I think swimming is great. I think swimming is great 2 to 3 times a week if you can. If you can take 2 to 3 times a week, I would swim.
Yeah, because I like it. What about the nutritional side of your life? Because I know that you know a lot about nutrition and it's a part of what you tell kids. And, so can you share that with us a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the nutrition side is great. So when you first come in as a 19-year-old kid, you're eating fast food, lots of all types of fast food, and sometimes no veggies. But as a young athlete, you can get away with that. But for longevity, you want to try to eat healthy foods, and you want to explore all the foods because if you look at dandelions, things like spinach and dandelions, not the dandelions you blow, but the dandelion spinach, and these are essential for basketball players or athletes. So I was really into dandelions to my career. Things like cinnamon, opens up the blood vessels, and you almost feel like you got a second wind in your muscles. Adding things like cinnamon to your diet. I think also lime pills and lemon pills have so many anti-inflammatory benefits in certain things, especially the organic. You get the organic ones, you wash them, and you put them in a smoothie or make a dessert out of these different things. I really like raw food, and there's so many different types of food on the planet that can really benefit an athlete. I also, garlic is great for liver, strengthening the liver, and as an athlete, start to gain weight. How can you how can you make your metabolism faster and strengthen your liver? Your liver burns fat. So if your liver is not strong, you're not gonna.
So what increases your metabolism? I want to know.
Well, I think red peppers. I like peppers because I really believe the peppers. If you read about it, it'll tell you that the peppers increase your metabolism by 25% at that time.
Wow.
Right. So you add that up. That adds up, and that helps you burn weight also, or burn fat also. So I love peppers. I love the walnuts. I really like the walnuts and the avocados. Those omega-3s because I believe they help you burn fat quicker if you have. I read about it, and then I tried it and it works. I love food definitely.
Yeah, I know you do. We've had dinner plenty of time. How do somebody's asking, how do you think COVID has affected the NBA and where's the comeback point?
Well, I think it affected the NBA, but I also think COVID, it affected everyone. In terms of someone's business and entertainment, I personally think that this was the best thing that could happen to entertainment because all the tools are already in place for people to engage online. And as you see, these online companies are just taking off during this time.
Right.
So it's really unfortunate that that something good is happening out of this. I don't want to see companies thriving off a situation like this, but that just shows you that people are thriving online. Everyone's online, right? So the NBA has such an asset where they don't need to play with people in the gym, so the NBA is going to be perfectly fine if they want to keep people safe. Now, a part of me says that the virus is going to go away. Part of me says it's going to stay, right? Nobody knows. So
no, nobody knows. Although we do see that the numbers are decreasing, so there's reason to be hopeful.
I think with people practicing social distancing, I think that's a brilliant thing right now. It gives you a chance to pause. It gives the virus a chance to relax. So hopefully they continue to go down.
Yeah. So let me ask you something. I mean, a lot of people, the fans obviously can't gather around, and so it's so important for people to understand how much fans mean to the players and how much you get from the fans. Because so, can you explain when you're on the court and this is a really intense game? How much does it mean to know that all this energy from all around you is either against you or for you?
So you're saying like how to deal with the energy?
Yeah, well, how do you deal with it? Because I know you feel it, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely, you feel it, but you only feel other people's energy when you're not meditating. And when you meditate, I think you could get rid of bad energy. You could even release bad energy out of yourself, because if someone else has bad energy, why can't we have bad energy? Or vice versa, right? So sometimes it's also important not to give your bad energy to people.
I agree.
Right? And then also kind of let it kind of mix into the earth and go away. Even yourself. Now, other people, right, they can have an effect also. So that's why I love meditation. That's why I love singing bowls. And that's
What kind of meditation do you do?
I mean, that's how you block out fans coming. But I think the meditation, I like singing bowls. The Tibetan singing bowls is the only one I know. But I like singing bowls, and I also like I like Tibetan music. There's a lot of great Tibetan music online, so I think that's really cool.
If somebody is asking, how do schools recover from this?
How do schools recover? I just think online, right? So the schools are going to be fine. The system is going to be fine. How are people going to keep up with the system? That's where we need to give access to technology to everyone.
No, I agree.
If you can't keep up with technology, it's going to be difficult, right? It's going to be difficult. So it's very important that the system is going to continue to move, as you can see.
It's interesting because some people are thinking that even the NBA games initially will be sort of zoomed or live streamed, and people would be able to view it and comment and send like they're sending messages right now for you. And that's kind of interesting because you still get the energy, but in a different way. But I think for the players to play in an empty place is kind of weird.
I think it's weird, but I think you'll see some amazing things happen on how people communicate with the game. It's going to be different, and all the technology plays for something special to happen. The NBA is big on technology. That's why I think when the game comes back, the views are going to be through the roof.
Yes. And it's going to be amazing. Oh my God, the energy alone of getting the games back. Somebody's asking, who's been your favorite teammate?
My favorite teammate of all time, I mean, they all are favorite. When people ask this question, you try to give an answer. But they ask this a lot of times. I don't really have a favorite. Personally, I might, because some people might have benefited me more than others. But then some people I might just like, and it doesn't matter if we play basketball together, right? So, I mean, that's when you bring it back to the human level, and they're all good people, right? A lot of I have so many. I played with Kobe, Yao Ming, Tracy McGrady, Reggie Miller. This is a lot of, really good people. It's really
a lot of, and still friends of yours, close friends of yours.
Well, I'm not gonna say close friends, but I see them and we say hello. And God, I don't see a lot of players that I played with in the past, but at the same time, yeah, we build relationships together.
No, one of the things that I think people don't really understand, at what point did you realize that you had your eyes on the court in such a way that defense was really your thing? Because to be a great defense, guys, you got to have your eyes everywhere.
Yeah, I think.
And the one thing I noticed, I used to watch you kind of like do the most surprising things, because you'd be on that side of the court and all of a sudden something happened and you were there, right there, blowing their shot. And I don't know how that happens for you, where you can see the entire court all the time and be aware constantly and never lose the focus.
You know, I think defense was something that people said I was good at. I was starting to win a lot of games, and I was winning it on the defensive end, and people really liked it. People would always say, "Man, you're an amazing defender. You're an amazing defender." And I said, "Okay, this is great. I'm an amazing defender." And as a kid, you don't really know what that means, but it means you could be a player. So it was like, okay, I'm only going to focus on defense. I never really thought that I would be able to play offense in the NBA. You know, I didn't think that.
Oh, so it came from an insecurity?
I mean, I didn't think I would be a good offensive player. They told me I would be good at defense. I said, okay. But offensively, I'm like, Michael Jordan's, that's a really good offensive player. There's no way in the world I'm going to be able to do stuff like that. But I think, like, when you think like that, you give yourself a chance. So I wish I would have been a little bit insecure offense. But defensively, it was just like, I felt like that was my
You know, I remember one moment on the court when you threw that three-pointer that saved the entire championship. You know what I mean, right? Tell us about that moment. That was unbelievable. I don't think I had a voice for a week. I was screaming so hard. Tell everybody about that moment. That was amazing.
It was an amazing time, right? Like, they already had a good team, you know, with Fisher and Powell and Kobe and Bynum and Lamar. They already had a really good team. And, you know, I pretty much was coming on a team that was seasoned to win. I was just a piece, you know, and I was very happy to beat it. Because I don't care what anybody says, the ring to me is the most important. That's what you want, and it's not easy to get.
No.
At the same time, if you don't get a ring, it's okay. Like, life goes on. It's not the last thing in the world. At the end of the day, it's okay. A lot of people don't have it.
But that moment, how was it? Did you know? I mean, because you were totally in the zone at that moment, weren't you?
I mean, yeah, meditation, centered, control, breathing, stable. You know, it was a lot of stuff like that was going on. Spiritually, real time fighting off demons. You know, just kind of focusing on the game and everything else in a pocket and funneling all the bad energy. You know, as a kid, that's what you want. We dream. We have dreams and we dream. And, you know, I think in order to reach a dream, you got to be centered, and it's not easy to do.
No, it's not. But who was, and they're asking, who's the hardest player you had to guard?
The hardest player, I mean, there's so many of them. You got Richard Hamilton, you have Kobe, Michael Jordan, you have LeBron James, Kevin Durant, you have Michael Redd. I mean, I played Vince Carter. I played okay. I had great games defensively against people. That's true, but they're all tough because we're training so hard to stop these players. And that's already mentally tough because you're pushing yourself through the wall because you know you got to play against Kobe. You know you got to play against Carmelo Anthony. So they're all really, really tough because you can't take a night off if you're a defender, right? You can't really take many nights off. You know, but I would say Michael Jordan stands out to me.
Yeah, he was amazing. But you know, it's interesting because, and I want to ask you this question for me. I know, you know, like when I do something and I'm in the zone when I'm doing it, I don't know where it comes from, but those are the best moments because then I do something that I look back and I went, oh my God, where did that come from? And it's great. And I've seen you be in the zone in the game. And you know, when you're in the zone, the most amazing things happen with you. tell me, what was the most amazing moment for you as a player that you will never forget?
The best time I had physically and spiritually, mentally from my game, it was in the playoffs when the Rockets played against the Lakers. That was like the best I've ever played in the playoffs. And that was a special moment for me because I was doing. I wish I would have had more moments like that winning. That would have been another level, but you know, we came up short, and that's why it's really tough to come out on top. You got to be ready, you know. But I had the Rockets was a year that I was like, wow, this felt really good.
Yeah. So I guess we have to get off in a minute, but I wanted you got to watch tonight at 6 o'clock. We're showing on Cinemoi
Yes,
the first global bridal fashion week, which is in the world with the most amazing designers from all over the world, the best. So you got to tune into Cinemoi at 6 o'clock and watch it because
I
it's
will.
exquisite. Plus, it's the first time that we're doing this. So I'm really excited because it's giving the fashion industry a shot, because right now there's no fashion weeks and nothing. So we are trying to give an entire industry a different view as to what can be done in these kind of times and still be relevant to the audience and to people. But Metta, I wanted to, just before we leave, I wanted to talk to you about something that's very dear to my heart. You know, you have stood up in so many different ways for different people. You're constantly philanthropic. You're constantly a giver. You're a family man. You just took your wife's last name as a sign of love and commitment. Do you think that now that you have come into this place in your life, how would you phrase what are your priorities? What's the most important thing at this moment in your life?
I mean, I think the family, right? That's the most important.
Family.
And then obviously
Yeah.
do businesses and do different things, but family is always most important because you're basically doing things with your family and you're doing things that make you happy. That's what life is, you know, it should be about. So definitely family, and then also, then obviously the business that we can create while we're here, we try. But at the same time, business is not the ultimate form of happiness. Exiting companies and all that stuff is not the best form of happiness. I think enjoying your surroundings is super important.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because people, you know, have written about you and there have been moments where you've had anger and all of that. But I know you, and people that know you as the gentle soul, the guy who's always there for the one that nobody thinks about, the guy that always then got your back like you have my back. And I just want everybody to know that you stand alone in my book as the gentlest soul I've ever met. And we should clone you because every woman should be treated like you treat your wife.
No,
Because you're so loving and so caring and so protective.
yeah.
I mean, it's like you're a dream guy. So I want to tell you, I appreciate you.
No, thank you. I really appreciate it. And I know Maya would appreciate it. And yeah, I'm looking for, let's do it again. I'm watching Cinemoi tonight.
Oh,
Let's talk about some more stuff next week.
yeah. I would love that. Love you, darling.
Mwah. Bye, Daphna.
So amazing. He's so amazing.